Welcome to this fly tying video. Today we're tying a CdC Caddis emerger. The hook I'm using is a size 14 Super Grub hook from Fulling Mill, and the thread is the Unithread 8/0 in dark brown. And we'll start by putting down a layer of thread. Till the bend of the hook. Then I'll tie in the first material. This is a really small strip of Flexibody, and I'll tie it in on my side of the hook, and we can cut off the rest piece. And what I do is that I color it with a dark brown marker on the underside. And for the body I use some rabbit fur dubbing. This one is dark olive, and you dub it onto your thread, and I want the body to be in a slight taper, thin at the bottom, and then getting thicker and thicker. And we'll stop at the point of the hook, and then we'll wind up the Flexibody in tight turns, leaving just a little dubbing through. Five turns is enough, and we'll tie it in. Then cut off the rest piece. Now we can brush out some of the dubbing, and there's dubbing brushed out. Now we'll tie in the wings or the wing buds of the emerger, and for this I use some light deer hair that has been dyed in brown. And you don't need much, just a small bunch is enough. In the stacker, and now the tips are aligned, and we'll tie it in facing backwards. The length should be the length of the body. And now we can cut off the ends. And some turns to secure and tidy up. And now what I do is that I split the wing in two, trying to make them as even as possible. And then you go with a figure 8 through the two bunches. Now the two wings are separate, one on each side of the hook. Now I'll tie in the post, which is made of polypropylene yarn. And I just take a small amount and put it under the hook, then go with the thread to secure, and that way it cannot be pulled out. And for the thorax I use a mix between life cycle dubbing in dark brown and the rabbit fur in olive, and just dub it on to the thread. And then build it up a little thicker than the body. And then what I do is to come around the post and park my thread on this side. And for the hackle I use some CdC, and to do that I have prepared some CdC in, this one is olive mixed with a brown one, and now it's in my magic tool. And what I do is to spin the thread counterclockwise to open up the fibers or to flatten the thread. Then I split it with a dubbing needle, insert the CdC, close the thread, then keeping the tension I spin the bobbin, this time clockwise, to close the thread, and then you can help with your fingers. Now the CdC is on the thread and I make turns around the post as you would with your normal hackle. And then I come right up to the eye and whip finish, 1, 2, 3 turns, cut off the rest piece, then I will pick out some of the CdC but you don't want this hackle to be too heavy, and if you put too much hackle on, it will not look natural. Then you can cut the CdC to length or leave it a little longer. And now for some stability in the post, I usually put a drop of glue on the base, and then it soaks down in the fibers, and at this moment you can set your post in place with a little angle. It will help the fly stand right in the water. It will then float like this. And now we can cut off the post to length. maybe brush out the dubbing underneath a little. And that's the CdC Caddis emerger.